Can we be confident that you'll restore order in a safe learning environment if it took you months to send warning letters?
She supported woke ideology her whole career. Now she's out of a job. Boo-hoo. Well, you created an environment where woke ideology could flourish. What did you expect would happen? How many conservative professors does Columbia employ? I'm betting close to zero. You helped create an environment for radical leftist ideas to flourish. And you wonder how it got so out of control. Minouche Shafik was the president of Columbia University. The key word being was. Not anymore. The left-wing lunatic pushing DEI has finally resigned after she couldn't or wouldn't protect Jewish students at her own campus from radical Hamas supporters. On October 4th, 2023, Shafik was sworn in as Columbia's 20th president on the steps of Low Library. She was the university's first woman and first Arab president, and many students greeted her arrival with enthusiasm. I love how liberals dig their own graves.
Nearly 4 months after fierce protests over the Israel-Hamas war gripped Columbia University and backlash by students, faculty, and lawmakers alike over her testimony on Capitol Hill,
another woke ideologue falls victim to wokeness. I found this article in the New York Post. Let's take a look. Embattled Columbia University President Minouche Shafik suddenly resigned Wednesday and is escaping back to her home country after leading the elite institution for less than a year that was marked by constant and sometimes destructive anti-Israel protests. Shafik announced she would be stepping down from the Ivy League in a letter to the student body and blamed the period of turmoil for her shocking departure. Quote, "This period has taken considerable toll on my family, as it has for others in our community," Shafik wrote. Before we go further, watch this clip of Shafik to get an idea of her politics.
If you look at the United States over a 50-year period, 20 to 40% of the gains in productivity in the US economy came from the fact that employers could now choose not just from a pool of white men for their workers, but from women and Black people and a much broader array of skills, and were much better able to match people to the jobs that suited them most. And that better matching resulted in massive productivity gain.
As you can clearly see, she's all about DEI and wokeness. All right, back to the article. Over the summer, I have been able to reflect and have decided that my moving on at this point would best enable Columbia to traverse the challenges ahead. I am making this announcement now so that new leadership can be in place before the new term begins. I'm sure there's going to be another triple boosted liberal in power. I doubt Columbia learned anything. In her letter, the scholar revealed she is leaving the prestigious school to return to the United Kingdom, where she spent most of her career, for a gig with its foreign secretary as a chair tasked with reviewing the government's approach to international development. She'll fit right in with tyrannical woke policies of the UK. God help the Brits. Quote, "I have tried to navigate a path that upholds academic principles and treats everyone with fairness and compassion. It has been distressing for the community, for me as president, and on a personal level, to find myself, colleagues, and students the subject of threats and abuse," she wrote. So distressing. What did you expect? You helped create that environment. University leadership has been promising that combating anti-Semitism is a priority, but many students are arriving in just a few weeks, and I don't have confidence that the campus situation this fall is going to look any different than it did in the spring. Matthew Waxman, a law professor and member of the school's task force on anti-Semitism, told the Post. Waxman was shocked by the resignation and said it was too soon to tell whether it was the right move for the school. The bigger question, he continued, is whether Columbia is going to crack down on new rules aimed at mitigating anti-Semitism. "We're going to have a big test in just a few weeks," he said. "And if they're not enforced, then we'll know that the university just isn't serious." Shafik had been facing mounting calls to resign for months over her handling of the protests, which broke out following Hamas's October 7 invasion of Israel. She was accused of gross negligence while testifying before Congress after refusing to say whether the phrase, "from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," should be considered anti-Semitic. Critics claim Shafik was not sufficiently cracking down on campus protests until the tent encampments took over the Ivy League school's lawn in the weeks leading up to the graduation. To see more left-wing lunacy, click here, and I will see you over there.